Welcome to Sports Connection. I'm Darrin Joins, Williamson County Schools Athletic Director. I'm here with my co-host, as always, Mr. Tate Mathews. Tate, 2021, officially in the books. What a great way to end it with the Wilco's, the 7th annual at the factory at Franklin.
Wilco's 21, what a great event. Just had a great feeling about it, it always does. It was so well done and run, and after being off last year and the virtual that took place right here, I think we broke all the ratings for that one. It was just cool, man. It was well attended. The room was packed. I felt like everybody stayed, or the majority of the people stayed the whole night. It was just a great vibe in there, man. Well done. I believe that's your first live one.
First live, and we appreciate you being a part of it too.
Oh, man, I had a blast. It really was fun. The red carpet and then co-emceeing it with you, very fun, and I was excited to be a part. I can't tell you, and I know you get it too, how many people reach out and say, there's nothing like this anywhere else in high school athletics in the entire country.
Well,
pretty cool.
No, I agree, and it's, I know there's going to be some districts that will eventually probably imitate.
Yes.
But, when you're talking about being at the factory, you're talking about red carpet, you're talking about sponsors, I'm going to be surprised if it's duplicated.
Well, it's easy to want to do it. It's a whole different thing to do it. But to our good friends at Troop 173 in Gallatin, we will share the playbook.
I don't think they can do it. Hey, speaking of sponsors, Tate, I do want to shout out, obviously, Walker Chevrolet, Brock Daly. We don't have the Wilco's without them. Street Tuxedo, we mentioned them with Mark and John Street making everybody look great. Mark Parrish and the crew at MTSU, Ryan Tyler, who's a Brentwood graduate, did a great job. Also was recognized as our first Alumni Student of the Year, which I thought was pretty cool.
Very cool.
Alumni Media Students, they got him in the truck, which was nice. Copy Solutions, John and Bob Woodbury, Jeremy Cox doing a great job with the awards and the programs. Spring Tree Media, Peter McKay, Jacob McDaniel, Chris Barnes, and the folks here at WCTV now for live streaming. You got Creed, appreciate Mr. Producer, Lance, Heather. We had Michael Hutchison on the camera, did a great job there. And then we had a couple of interns, Gavin and Christian, who ran some cameras. By all appearances, and what I'm hearing, they did a great job. It looked good on the screen. And Tate, I was very happy to hear that 3,000 views on YouTube of the event. So I thought that was great. Of course, the folks at the factory, David Pack, Tammy Price, for allowing us to be there. Just really appreciative of them.
And the cool thing about it is, can't do this without any of them.
That's right.
There's not one of those that you can take out of there, and this thing is the event that it is.
So if you are out there trying to duplicate it,
there you go.
You need at least this many people. And I did want to mention our volunteers and workers.
Yep.
Who have many of these people have done it many years. Lindsey Quirk, David and Leslie Harris, Porter Hassel, Shannon Friend and Franklin Cheerleading, Stars Basketball, Carrie Thompson, Terry Flowers, Christian Taylor, the pictures, unbelievable. The Outside the Lines group, those 4 students who are part of that Outside the Lines, very much a part of it. And then you've got Price Wynn, Franklin graduate, Jay Armstrong, Anna Claire Lotta on the red carpet. Again, Franklin graduates did a great job. Carrie Goodwin on the red carpet, Michael Fletcher, Nick Vaco. And listen, Burke Nihill, president of the Tennessee Titans, giving out Teams of the Year. Mr. Golden, giving out Coaches of the Year. Dr. Webb, just a lot of people who are supportive of this event. It is really unique.
You nailed it right there. There you go. That's how many people you need, and that's not everybody, but yeah, very cool. Jay and Anna Claire, they might have stolen the show on the red carpet. It's pretty hard to do when you have the award-winning cast inside that we did. And I thought about this on the way over. You were talking about Mr. Daly and Street Walker Chevrolet. If they've been the title sponsor since the beginning, as this thing has grown. If they're not there from the beginning, they're still the title sponsor. But if they're not there at the beginning, who knows if this thing ever even takes off and grows into the thing that it is. And that's the other cool thing. We talked about the night of the show. Street Tuxedo, Copy Solutions, Spring Tree Media. They've all been there since the beginning. That's what kind of event it is. Hey, you still in? You dang right I am.
Well, and Scott Shake
Yes.
and the drivers out there dropping the athletes off on the red carpet. It's just, it's special.
I've never personally gotten to see that because I'm always inside. But I did see the Suburbans and things like that. Think about that.
Let me tell you what I
neat.
did, and you need to do this next time. I slipped out on a couple of the interviews, and I walked outside. And I walked down there, the red carpet, just to check it out. It's pretty fun. My favorite part of the event.
Oh, yeah, the red carpet.
The red carpet, it's great.
I thought it went over really well.
Hey, and I did want to mention, too, well-deserved, because you're doing things like this, you're helping with the Wilcos, and you don't have to do it. Mathews Team Sports, very well-deserved, our sponsor of the year. Appreciate you and your crew. I know Natalie Mathews was there, Justin Lamb was there, but Chaz, your whole group do a great job, not only with supplying us and outfitting us, making us look great, but things like this show. And I did want to mention, Mr. Mathews, I know we've told our audience this before, but talk about how you being part of the show started, because every time I hear it, I laugh. How the first time it was just, come on in, and I've got a show in 10 minutes, you want to help me out? And it turned into this great thing.
So I get a text message from Brian True, Board of Control member. Our Board of Control member says, hey, do you know Jeremy Qualls? Don't know him. He's the new county athletic director at Williams County. Oh, okay. About that time, get a text from him. Come over, meet him. As always, as everybody who knows Dr. Qualls, everything's going about 275 miles an hour. So we meet and talk about everything, and good meeting. He goes, hey, by the way, he goes, not what are you doing? He says, hey, by the way, I got to go do this show downstairs in 15 minutes. You're going to be my first guest. Okay. Came down. At the time, Creed will back me up on this. At the time, Newt was here, Hall of Famer Newt, and he came out and he goes, hey, Jeremy, it's your show. You're the executive producer. But would you like to do this every week? That's how it started.
And the rest is history.
And I promise you, most people don't believe it. We walked outside, and he goes, we're going to have a game day. And I'm looking at him. I say, what do you like ESPN game day? He goes, yes. We're gonna have game day. Take it on the roads. and that's not where you were going with this. I'll never forget. It was at Fairview and Page. I didn't know Peter Vaquet and Jacob and the crew at Spring Street Media. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm driving down. Is that Highway 100? Yeah, I'm driving down. 70. I'm thinking, there's going to be nobody here. What is this thing? I look up, and we pull in, and they've got a stage that the Home Depot stage, the game day crew on ESPN would be proud of. Everybody turned out, and it was awesome, and it just kind of took off from there. Also, while talking about that, the new game day stage that Peter and Jacob and them built, wow. That is top notch.
Debuted it
the other night. That's what we were
Wilcos.
sitting behind the red carpet.
Well, and we were going to talk about this later, but I think it's a perfect time to mention Dr. Qualls gets the Legacy Award. I think we did a good job of embarrassing him the other night, and he was surprised because one thing about Dr. Qualls now, he doesn't like to talk about himself much. He really doesn't.
No.
But if anybody has to hear their name and the Wilco goes to, it's Jeremy Qualls.
Well, and I thought it was very cool. You did a great job of
Didn't even let
surprising
you
him.
in on it.
You didn't let me in. I had no idea.
Had it on the...
It was big. It was good. He was surprised. And, I'm going to brag on you. I love that about you. A lot of guys would come in and take this role and want to make sure everybody knows, not you, no ego. Hey, man, he's the guy who started it. I'm, following in his footsteps and improving on and making things better and carrying on. And the fact that you didn't have an ego about that, to give that to him, and you're right, it was well-deserved. I thought it was very cool. Both of us, Jeremy Qualls and I, neither are at a loss for words, and you kind of got both of us. So,
well, you guys are great, and certainly I appreciate your help in these past couple of years and in future years.
Can't wait. Next year's going to be even bigger.
Got
Can't
some
wait.
ideas, got some feedback. We sent out got some good feedback.
And I know we're going
too.
to talk about it, I think, but the interviews backstage.
Great.
How great are those?
Oh, so great. How about our girl from cross country from Fairview, Alyssa Andrea? We've been calling her Andrea, but I heard her say her name is Andrea, so we apologize,
Yes.
Alyssa.
We got some bad info.
But it was great. When Jay Armstrong, who did a great job, but he messed up the school, probably got off his script a little bit. It's the only time he messed up all night.
Correct.
And she had to.
And he introduced her from where?
Brentwood.
She wasn't having it. She tried, and then she was like, "I'm sorry, I can't let that go." But that wasn't my favorite. My favorite, you know, we were up there, and it might have been you were next, and so I don't know if did you hear what Holland Powers said?
No, I didn't.
Who she thanked?
No.
We'll get to it, but you know, she, as coach joins, let everybody in on. She beat Farragut. She would have placed sixth in the large class state championship meet. And so anyway, she wins. I think everybody knew she was winning that one. She goes back and they ask her who she wants to thank. She said, "I want to thank my mom because in the 6th grade she tried to talk me out of trying out for the track team because she didn't think I would make it. So thanks, Mom." It was great.
I'd say she made it.
She made it.
And going to Arizona.
Man,
Big time.
big time.
Big time. Hey, let's talk about some winners. So last week, Dr. Qualls and I, we talked about, or I guess it was 2 weeks ago, we talked about all the nominees. Let's you and I go through the winners. Let's start, Tate, with baseball.
Baseball. You just want me to read the winner? Or okay. Ethan McIlvain, Nolansville, took it home. Now, here's the thing. This one was a tough one. All of them are tough. I think he was the most dominating guy all year long in the season. By the way, did you see his brother had a
He did okay.
he did okay in the World Series the other night. What a baseball family. But takes home the Wilco, 7-1 on the year on the mound, 102 strikeouts. And then he comes back and he bats 270, 276, 16 RBIs, 680 on base percentage. Takes home the Wilco. He's a sophomore. Pretty strong.
Very strong. Very strong.
Led his team with his teammates the farthest of any other baseball team in WCS in the state tournament. I'm giving him third place. I guess technically it was the semifinals, but I'm giving him third place in the state tournament. And wow, 2 more years of him. But congratulations to him. Pretty neat.
Girls and boys basketball. We'll start off with girls. Lily Wilkin. And really, if you took a look during the season, Amelia Osgood in that district was Player of the Year and should have been.
Yes.
But the Wilco goes to Lily Wilkin, and it had something to do with that postseason.
I agree.
22 points a game. She was the district tournament MVP. She was the region tournament MVP. They make their first trip to the state tournament. So some might look at that and go, how does that happen? Obviously, any of the finalists could have won, but well-deserving, Lily getting that award.
Yeah, not only did she take it to 22 during the regular season, she was 15. 15 points, 6 rebounds, 4 steals, 3 assists a game. She upped her average, and it's not like they only played 2 postseason games. She upped her postseason average 7 points. I'm with you. That was the thing that put her over the edge, and you know, well-deserved. And any of those young ladies could have won it. And also pretty cool that Mackenzie Cochran, her teammate from Page, was a finalist too, and that didn't seem to cancel each other out.
No, and the other thing about that, it's obvious they get along.
Yes.
Very obvious they get along, which is great. Because, you know, there are a lot of teams that might be a little jealousy there.
Only one ball.
That's right, but there's absolutely none there.
And they went the farthest, so.
They did. Well, shout out to Mr. Cochran, by the way. Sent us a nice email. I know he's always watching the show,
Yes.
so we appreciate him viewing and saying nice things to us, not only about what we do each week, but also with the Wilco Awards.
That's right, and a couple of new Princeton fans here too, because Amelia Osgood, that's where she's going on. So what a great class, great category.
Are we smart enough to be fans of Princeton?
I mean, I know they're the Tigers, aren't they?
Well, I just didn't know if you had to be, you know, on some kind of Ivy League kind of level to root for them.
Well, Vanderbilt's pretty tough academically, right?
True.
The
And that
Vandy
guy
Whistler.
Yeah, he's obviously not a Vandy grad. Yeah, that's a great point, by the
Thank
way.
you.
Great
Appreciate
point. On the boys' side in basketball, Reed Kemp, back-to-back Wilco Awards. He was district MVP a couple times in a row. Missouri Western signee, again, very well deserved for Reed to pick up that award.
22.4 points per game. Here's what I thought was really cool. You're a part of this as well. 104 wins for that graduating class at Franklin. That's strong, man.
Pretty special.
Do the math on that.
You know, and that team, really, if they make the state tournament, they're probably a team finalist of the year. Came up a little bit short, and we had a lot of teams that made it to the state tournament, won state tournaments. hard to keep those other teams out of the finalist position. But they won, 25, 6, 27 games in a row, whatever it was. Pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive. Congrats, Reed.
Girls and boys bowling. Molly Austin, the only finalist that wasn't from Franklin, from Brentwood High School. She wins. She finishes 10th at the state tournament, which was the highest in WCS. On the boys' side, we had 2 from Franklin, 2 from Centennial in terms of finalists. Brian Keener, 12th in the state individuals. And we talked about this before. 217 average, which is the highest in school history. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Really strong. And Molly Austin was one of my favorite interviews that we had on the red carpet. Great personality and, really cool. You love talking to them about what they're thinking about when they're, there's a lot of time on your own. It's like, I guess, golf, right? Walking in between shots. But I'm pretty sure she said something along the lines of, I'm just thinking about not messing up the next bowl or shot. I thought that was great. She kind of looked at me like I was a moron.
Let's talk a little cross country. We mentioned Alyssa Andrea from Fairview, 2-time state champion. She's only a sophomore. She wins the award for best backstage interview, maybe tied with Reagan Grimes. She was great back. They were all great.
Yes.
But they were both very memorable in terms of those interviews back there.
Yes, and she was great on the red carpet too. But 2-time state champion, and she's only a sophomore. Wow. And that was a loaded class too. But yeah, she had a great interview, and she's just a great athlete in both cross country and track. It's going to be fun to see. Have we ever had a 4-time state champ?
Not in my time, but that's
maybe Koger, but I don't think so. Man, that'd be something. We need to do a little research on that. Pretty cool.
She's got a shot, obviously.
You already put the pressure on last year, and look what the results. You put the pressure on Coach Derrick. Might as well go ahead and
That's right.
put Alyssa on notice.
Get it done.
There you go.
Well, and I feel like she'll have a shot too, because she obviously did very well in track as well. Maybe she could double up a cross country and track state championship.
I think that's very possible.
So maybe we could do that. Boys side, Kevin Vanderkook, from Brentwood High School, the Belmont signee. Sister Caitlin was also a finalist. I think that was one of those, when you looked at the finalist, it was pretty obvious that Kevin stood out. The others were great too.
Correct.
But he had a very dominant year.
Felt like he was the one. He's another in the line of former Brentwood Bruins that are going on to Belmont to continue his athletic career. And if you'll remember, we need to circle back on this, but he was definitely a finalist for best tuxedo of the night.
Jacket was strong.
He brought it.
The jacket was strong.
I don't know if he picked it out or Mr. Street, but
I like Nick Dangs.
Nick Dangs
from Ravenwood had that red.
Oh yeah,
looked good. Let's move on to football. And the one negative about having this as late as we have it now, and we need to continue it because it gets spring a chance to finish, and they're not coming to the awards worrying about competing because you look at Reagan Grimes, who was our female athlete of the year. She probably doesn't win it if we have it a month ago.
No doubt about it.
So I did like that, but the negative.
Let's just say it like it is. She doesn't. If she doesn't have the spring in on it, time to vote on it on spring, she doesn't win it. But she deserved it, right?
No doubt.
I mean, so in past, and I was all for that. I mean, she won the discus and the shot put, 3-sport starter. But yes, you're correct.
Well, but the negative of having it when we did, and this is going to continue to happen because of the type of athletes we have, football defensive player of the year, Junior Colson, he wasn't there, but he's at Michigan. Right. I mean, come on. And then you got Walker Merrill, who was a finalist. He's already at UT. Jake Brenningstool was already at Clemson. So it's understandable why they couldn't be there. It's a shame they couldn't be there. They still won the awards, though.
Yes.
And we're very proud of them, not only for what they're doing now going to the college level, what they did when they were here. Football offensive and player of the year and male athlete of the year, it really was his night, except for dropping and breaking the football player of the year award, Mr. Destin Wade. Now, it was funny. I sent a message out to Coach Coleman and said, look, it's one of those things that happened. We'll be glad to replace it. Let me know who to get it to and address to send it to. And Coach Coleman said in a text, he said, I'm sorry, he usually doesn't fumble.
That's great.
But it was, and I don't know if you saw it, Christian Taylor, who did a great job with those, but there's a picture of it.
No, I did not
where
see
he's
it.
dropped it, and it's like, looking down at the ground. He and Jay, I believe it's Jay back there backstage. It was fantastic.
And from what I hear, it was like
It was over.
it was gone. There was no piecing it back together.
But Destin, what a humble young man.
Yeah, humble young man, and his brother's the same way. You could tell his brother was genuinely. Yeah, he was as excited for him as Destin was for himself. But humble young man, pretty cool. Always fun to watch. His teammates were there and his coaches were there, and you can tell he's the leader. But he's not a loudmouth leader. He's just they follow his example and the way he plays and the way he works, and and coming back next year too. So I thought the coolest thing you were talking about the athlete, which we'll get to that, but is that I knew he was good in basketball, but I didn't know he averaged 19 points last season. I mean, now don't forget, he played all the way through December 4th or December 5th, whatever night, Friday night was of the state championships. So, yeah, leader, humble, UK Wildcat commit.
Yeah, I was waiting for it, yes.
Is there anything you don't like about him?
I love it. So, we talked about this on this night. It seems like every year I've been to the Wilcos, there's a school or team that has this presence. You could feel it on the red carpet. It was Summit High School had that presence. And, of course, they had 60 people right there from football.
Right.
But they had a great presence at the event.
Oh, they did, without a doubt. And you could feel it. It was cool. It was part of the energy that was in the room. And I got to be honest, the only part of the whole night I got nervous when they all, and they kept coming on stage, and they kept coming and kept coming. I was thinking, surely
It'll hold them.
if it'll hold that, we're good, right?
Well, we'll see. Boys and girls golf, another sport we did really well this past year. Sophia DePaulo from Franklin High School, she tied for 6th at the state tournament, beat out Shelly Jang from Ravenwood, who won it last year. Obviously, Sophia and Shelly both had great years. On the boys golf side, Troop Wallace from Brentwood High School, 2020 district champion, qualified for the state as an individual, very well deserved. And pretty interesting on that one, Colin Alexander from Ravenwood, he has the best finish at state, but in that particular voting, the voters felt like Troop's regular season was so strong that they went with that.
Body of work.
Body of work.
Now, I have to plead my ignorance, but educate the viewers and me, please. 37.1 season 9-hole average. That means 37.1. They only play 9 holes on a lot of those?
So typically the courses are par 36.
Yep.
So he averaged about 1 over par.
Pretty strong.
No, but and he's not kicking his ball and fluffing it up and taking a mulligan. I mean,
I'll move it a little bit over here.
that's good. It's like a 10-footer for bogey. He's not doing that. So pretty impressive.
What do you think he'd shoot? 9-hole course. What do you think he'd shoot at the Skyview Country Club?
I'd say he'd have a good chance of breaking the course record. Look it up. It's a great course.
Great course.
Girls and boys soccer, the Ravenwood show, right? Nora Henderson again, the postseason. Nora had a great postseason. She was all district, all region, all state for Ravenwood. And then Nick Dang, who was co-MVP during the year, he wins that also. So Ravenwood wins girls and boys soccer. Nick also was up for basketball player of the year and athlete of the year. Another great multi-sport athlete here in WCS.
Yep, love it. And he also had a great jacket. Nora Henderson, how cool is she? She was a great interview.
Great interview.
Talking to her later, that's another part of the Wilcos I love. When you talk about on a soccer field, and she, I know she's okay with this, and her mom and dad too. I know her daddy. Tough as nails. Almost a little bit nasty. You know what I'm saying?
In a good way.
In a good way. Like, we're here to win, and we're going to get after you. You know what I'm saying? And but then she comes off and such a nice, educated, well-mannered young lady. I loved it, man. Cool seeing her.
I thought the girls soccer and softball, it almost seemed like a cohesive group amongst the different schools. I thought that was pretty neat.
I wonder if that's AAU. They played it
Probably.
together a lot. I bet there's a big part of it. And congratulations to Nick. That's a pretty, when we think multi-sport, we think football, baseball, or football, wrestling. when I say multi-sport, is the first thing that jumps out to you basketball, soccer?
No.
Pretty cool.
It is. Softball, Elena Escobar from Summit High School on the strength of that third place finish at the state championship. Again, great group there. Loved it with Avery Wismar, who really wanted to be a finalist. And she was a finalist. She was having a good time there with Morgan Salmon of Brentwood, Josie Polk of Page. Very cohesive group there at the Wilcos. That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. That was a cool group. And Elena, I think you had to go with it, but that's another category. Any one of the four, I'm fine with.
Girls tennis, Lisa Messier, 21-0 in singles. District 11 singles champion, led FHS to the district team championship. They were obviously region champions, state runners-up. I thought it was interesting. Grace Stout, who was also a finalist, the only time Lisa lost a match was in the region championship to Grace. Lisa beat her 3 times during the year. Grace beats her and goes to the state tournament. But on the strength of her season, Messier wins the girls' tennis Wilco.
21-0 in singles. Hey, and Grace Stout, sophomore, back for 2 more years.
Unbelievable.
They were great on the red carpet, too.
Hey, Messier's back, too. She'll be a junior.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun. We need to get our tickets early.
No doubt. Boys tennis, Ravenwood, again on the strength of a state championship. He played #1 singles. Patrick Dells, he was undefeated at #1 during the year. Again, very well deserved.
Very well deserved. Congratulations to Patrick. I think that one was a no-brainer.
Let's talk track. Girls track, Holland Powers. I finished 6th by myself, but she was on the state championship track team from Brentwood High School. We've talked a lot about Holland, just a great athlete, did a great job, and again, shouted out her mother for saying she wouldn't make it.
Please don't try it. That was great. And shout out to her for calling her out. That was awesome.
On the boys' side, which I thought this was great, you're talking about some track powerhouses here. Franklin, Ravenwood, Brentwood, but the Wilco goes to Ryan Keaton of Fairview. I know I've been saying it all year long. He wins the state championship in the 800 at track, so very well deserved. But that's an award 4 or 5 years ago. You don't think of Fairview winning a track Wilco.
No, I agree. And the first, you've talked about it all year, first at Fairview, but won the state in the 800. Not only did he win the state in the 800, he had the fastest time in the 800 in the small school division. So, and then, dominated in the sectionals and about everything else. So, yeah. I think maybe the people that aren't familiar with Fairview, that one might have been surprising, but not really when you look at what he did. Congratulations to him.
Volleyball, this one was no surprise.
Did this surprise you?
No, great candidates here, but it was pretty obvious that Shay Eggleston stood out. 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year. She wins it. Great group of finalists, Destiny Cherry from Summit, Charlie Fulton, Lauren Starkey from Nolensville, but Shay was the one.
Sometimes it's kind of like the joke we have around our place. Somebody's got to be Jordan. There's nothing wrong with being Pippen, man. You know what I'm saying? She's one of a kind, or maybe 2 of a kind with her sister. But all 3 of those other young ladies are unbelievable. But Shay's maybe the best in the country. Just happens to be here in Wilco.
And there's lots of people, lots of coaches celebrating the graduation of Miss Eggleston.
Yes.
Like, you sure she's enrolled in Alabama? Get her out here.
Yeah, please. I'll drive her down there. Hey, and what a great personality.
Oh, fun. A lot of fun.
She had a great personality.
I love that she came back because she's already enrolled in Alabama.
I know. She wasn't going to miss it.
It's great.
Great personality. Destiny Cherry came up to us, had a great personality, and then I got to hear, it was one of the few I got to hear. I got to hear Charlie Fulton and Lauren Starkey out on the red carpet. They were great. Great category, man. But yeah, hey, being a finalist is a big deal, especially in that one, because she's the best.
Girls wrestling, Bailey Peterson from Independence. You said it many times. Independence, Coach Grindstaff, they jumped on girls wrestling probably quicker than anyone else, still reaping the benefits with another Wilco for Independence Wrestling.
Yep, kind of cool. I kind of like that. Independence was the one to jump on it the first. And then, did you hear Bailey's backstage? hey, Mom, I'm famous. She thought, I can't remember if it was Jay or Anna Claire or whatever. She thought they were going to get that mic away from her. Man, she grabbed that thing. That was great. Congratulations, Bailey.
On the boys' side, very well deserved. Riley Bennett, 4-time state finalist. He breaks through at the championship this year. He's the most outstanding wrestler at the state tournament. Again, this is one to me, when I looked at it, pretty obvious that it should be Riley. The voters thought so too.
Yeah, it was. Alex Abels, man, how can you argue with that? But yeah, Riley Bennett, this one was the one that needed to happen. Starting quarterback on the football team, how cool. I don't know if you saw that one picture. He had a guy in a half, the Nelson or a headlock or whatever. Did you see his pecs? Dude, my man was yoked up.
He did it was when he came through on the red carpet, I think we caught him off guard with a few questions, but by the time he got to the backstage interview,
He was rolling.
he was ready.
Yeah.
Looked good, had that white tux on.
Yeah.
Brought it strong. We mentioned our female and male athletes of the year already. Reagan Grimes, very well deserved from Ravenwood, 3-sport athlete, volleyball, basketball, 2-time champion there in track and field with the shot put and discus. Destin Wade led the team to a football state championship. And as you mentioned, 16 points per game in basketball, 5 rebounds, 2.7 steals all district. Pretty strong. Could have really done it based on his football only, but when you add them both together, a pretty good job there by Destin.
Yep, you throw that in there and it's a no-brainer. And hey, I thought the cool thing on the Female of the Year award was, talk about multi-sport athlete counting. Reagan wins that one. She beat out 2 other Wilco Award winners. We just talked about it. The most dominating volleyball player in all of high school volleyball anywhere in the country, and then Holland Powers maybe the most dominating track and field athlete. But when you put her body of work, start her on volleyball, start her on basketball, almost a double-double average if she didn't, almost 20 points, and then winning shot put and discus, female sport athlete of the year, I think that's very cool.
Our coaches,
she's back too.
that's a headache for a lot of people.
That's right.
Our coaches of the year on the girls' side are the female sports coach of the year. So it's not female coach, it's female sports coach of the year.
Correct.
Female
Because
teams.
of Mr. Young.
That's right. Well, so Barbara Campbell, very well deserved. She's won this award I don't know how many times, probably about every time we've had it. 16th overall volleyball state championship, 8th in a row. And here's something I thought was pretty interesting, because some might say, well, she missed a month. How was she coach of the year? I would also argue this. If you are coaching a team and you can be away from the team and it still do its thing, I would argue that as the coach, she's done a good job of, when I'm out, you guys can keep it going. I think it's the strength of, you remember the old book, Good to Great? You remember this book? It's a Jim Collins book. And one of the things it said about the greatest leaders, when they leave, it doesn't just go straight downhill, because they've set it up to do well.
Very well put.
I think about that with Coach Campbell. On the male sports coach of the year side, again, dominant night for Summit High School, Brian Coleman. He was great all night. I love what you talked about with the heading on stage. Talk about that. That was pretty neat.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people saw it, but it's, leaders, right? I got a book for you, Leaders Eat Last. You know that one? I just thought it was cool. Both Coach Campbell and Coach Coleman, so humble and just leaders. Their people follow them. And if you saw when you announced Team of the Year, Coach Coleman was sitting there fist bumping, waiting on all of them. He fist bumped every single one of them. He was the last one on stage. Pretty cool. They'll follow. We'll follow people like that, right? Coach Campbell the same way. I just thought it was very neat. And Coach Coleman, pretty big guy, a little intimidating. He got a little emotional there Tuesday night. That was very cool too. I love guys that aren't afraid to, tell somebody they love them and appreciate them. That don't mean you're not tough. I assure you, Coach Coleman's tough.
No doubt. And both of their teams win Team of the Year. Brentwood Volleyball, Female Sports Team of the Year, Male Team of the Year, Summit Football. Also, I'd like to mention our cheer and dance winners. We had Jessie Mae Merrill from Franklin High School wins Cheerleader of the Year, Dancer of the Year, Kat Burchell of Centennial High School, both well-deserving. And you look at the resumes of those finalists, not only good athletes, but a lot of good students in there too.
Yep, Jessie Mae, got to talk to her on the red carpet. She was great, and congratulations to both her and Kat. Very well-deserved. and a very special night for them too.
Media Student of the Year, Sam Wild, Independence. And you go look at some of the things that these students have done, pretty impressive. Sam Wild had his own show, basically, at Independence High School, like a following the football team kind of thing, which was cool. We mentioned the Alumni Media Student of the Year, Ryan Tyler of MTSU. He's a Brentwood graduate. And some other awards. Now, you got to introduce this because you do a great job. The WCTV Play of the Year was Independence Football.
Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, courtesy of our man, Paul Brees.
It was great.
It was great. I don't know that we might need to do a little better job of that next year. I'm not sure everybody understood that each play was named. So, some of the people were looking at me like, what, rumbling, what's this clown
Even though it was
about?
up there.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know that it was verbalized. Hey, and my man, Paul Brees, this is great. You'll love this. So I get a text message from Paul later on that night. He says he's in the next day, he's in Publix or something. And he said this person walks up to, have you heard this?
Yes.
Congratulations on your Wilco Award. That's epic. Tell me people aren't watching.
They're just not watching closely.
Oh, man.
That's great. Sports Conference Student Athlete of the Year, Jason Amsler. Franklin, when you looked at his resume, pretty impressive. What was that he was majoring in?
Well, the best part was you said you had to look it up.
I still didn't understand it afterwards. Symbolic systems, maybe? Something
I think
like
it
that?
was. There's integration and
Linguistics, mathematics.
Computers, you lost me. Hey, 4.67 grade point average.
36 on the ACT. You can't do better than 36.
That was pretty much it.
And he was leaving the next day to go to Stanford.
Going to Stanford.
His family was really nice.
By the way, really good football player.
Very good. Summer Anderson, Fairview, the multi-sport athlete of the year, young lady that starts on the basketball team, volleyball team. I'm missing one. Softball team, and it's going on the same time. She qualifies for 4 events for state track.
Come on.
And she's a junior.
A junior. That's pretty cool. And you know what that also means? That means Coach Jones and the track coach are working together to let her. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm sitting there, when I first started looking at that, I was like, well, how can it not be Reagan Grimes, the female? And then you threw that track and field in there on top of it. That's 4 sports, man. And I'm willing to bet she's got a really good GPA too.
Well, and Coach Hughes is already recruiting her to play flag football, so she's going to go.
We got to find a way to make it work. Got to get her a helicopter or something.
John Mayer, another great sponsor of the Wilcos and WCS. They provide a $5,000 scholarship. They call it the Sportsmanship Award. It's not for maybe the best player on the team, but the most enthusiastic being part of the team. And I don't know if you heard Kai Jones there from Brentwood High School. I said, I don't know if Kai knows the amount. And she looked and kind of, wow, $5,000. Thank you, John Mayer Builders.
How'd y'all, I'm sure she was there to support her teammates, but how do you all get them there? Because she did not know.
No, she didn't. I got with Coach Blair and said, talk to the basketball coach. You want to tell her parents, that's fine, but make it where it's not obvious she's getting something.
Yeah, that's very cool. And remember, that's a big part of one of the stipulations on that. He gives that to somebody who has not received any athletic scholarship money. Hey, here's $5,000. That's pretty good.
Pretty nice. The Sports Conference Courage Award, someone who's overcome hardship. It's very, very well documented, the struggles that Coach Barbara Campbell went through. Now she's retired, looked great the other night, in great shape, playing pickleball 4 or 5 days a week. Again, very well deserved. She was very appreciative of all the recognition the other night, too.
I think that's the first time we've had a coach that has won the Courage Award. I'm pretty sure of that. But it was very fitting. Very cool story. And you're right. She looks great. I don't know if you remember, I told her, I need to know what rec center she's playing. I've been playing a little pickleball.
Yes, you have.
I need to know what rec center she's playing at because I don't want to go up against her.
I would love to watch you two play pickleball. That would be must-see TV.
You know, she's so nice and so humble and so pretty and looked so great the other night. But she's a little intimidating.
She'd go after you.
She might melt me on that court. I don't need that. I don't need that out there.
Final 2 awards. Again, I don't think this was a total surprise either, but the Director's Cup, based on the schools and how they do during the season and postseason. Brentwood High School wins Division I. They've won it every year but 1 year. Nolensville High School wins again. Again, not real big surprises, but I'll tell you this. that Division I was pretty close. Ravenwood was pretty close behind. I don't have the points in front of me. And then Franklin had a great year. 4 runners up in the team. They win a couple of those. Maybe they win it. But congratulations again. Coach Blair, Brentwood High School's athletic director, Zach Hudson, Nolensville High School. Directors Cup winners again this year.
Yep, congratulations to both of them. Both of them were a little bit upset. They both claimed they could have carried the trophy off stage. You didn't think they could. Coach Blair's in good shape. But, yeah, man, Franklin's closing the gap on that. And then, I don't know, how far away are we from Nolensville going up into the –
Well, honestly, we're going to look at it because we've got 9 schools. Fairview, Page, and Nolensville are in that Division II group, but we're going to have to revamp it a little bit. Got to look at enrollment. It's changing.
kind of like the Sears Cup, right? Isn't that what it's called in college?
Capital One now.
Capital One. Brentwood High is the Stanford. They usually win it, or they used to, before they cut out all their sports. But Brentwood High is the Stanford of the Directors Cup. Little nugget. Hey, we didn't have a gym today.
Oh, we did we? Shoot. Last show of the year, no gym. I think the gym is the team there in WCTV. They're just the gym of the show. How about that? That's not very good.
Quick on your feet.
You guys are great, though. You're great.
Quick on your feet.
Tate, appreciate you being here as always. Great year. Looking forward to a very exciting 21-22. We will have Football Media Day before you know it.
Little teaser, the Ravenwood 7-on-7 passing tournament was Saturday. There's about 15, 16 teams. In the final, Independence and the Summit Spartans. Independence takes the title home. Coach Blade ramping up. Football's right around the corner.
Can't wait.
We're loaded in WCS again.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
As always, we appreciate you joining us for Sports Connection, and we'll see you next time.